Hi, boys and girls. Mrs. K. It was so nice to see some of you on Friday. I hope everyone had a great weekend. It's our last week before our winter break. How exciting. All right, let's sing our hello song. You ready? Oh, hello, hello, hello. How are you? Oh, hello, hello, hello. How are you? I'm glad you came today. We will learn to work and play. Oh, hello, hello, hello. How are you? All right, let's look at our calendar. This is our last week that we will be doing in our month of December. That's exciting. All right, we know it's December. Let's figure out what day of the week it is. Here we go. There's Sunday and there's Monday. There's Tuesday and there's Wednesday. There's Thursday and there's Friday. And then there's Saturday. Days of the week. 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 Today is Monday. It's Monday today. Another Monday in December. Okay, Mrs. K added on a couple numbers since we weren't here over the weekend. So let's find out what number we land on, okay? Starting with number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. A 2 and a 1 makes 21. So today is Monday, December 21st. That's how we would say it. Very good job, friends. All right, I cleared our weather graph up here. It's a new week, so we have some new pictures to put up. And looking outside, oh boy, what does Mrs. K always see when I look outside? Is it cloudy again? Boy, is it a cloudy December. We're gonna put up a cloud for Monday. Tomorrow is Tuesday. I'm really hoping that maybe the sun will come out. We'll have to see, okay? All right, I'm grabbing my flag. You know what to do. Can you stand up? Here we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great job. We are going to skip our patriotic song for today. And I'm going to put up our ABC poster right up here. Does anybody remember what Mrs. K said on Friday? Do we have a letter of the week this week? We don't. It's a very short week of school. We have school today and tomorrow and Wednesday, and then we are off for a while, right? Because we have Christmas and we're off for a winter break. So I didn't want to start a new letter when we only have 3 days this week. So we're going to wait until next month in January to go to our next letter. So for today, we'll just do a little review, and then we're going to hop right into one of Mrs. K's favorite holiday books. You might see it down here. We'll get to it in a minute. What sound does letter L make? We just did this one on Friday and all last week. Do you remember the sound L makes, like lion? Oh, oh, oh. Good job. What about if I jumped all the way up here? Letter C. I always look at the picture to help me out, right? I have a picture of a cat. What do you hear at the beginning of that word? Cat. Good job. What if I pointed to this letter down here? Ooh. K. Remember the rule here, C and K make the same sound, but they're different letters. Kind of tricky. So, if they make the same sound, what do you hear in the word kangaroo? K. Very good job, friends. We'll review a little bit more tomorrow with some different letters. And I'm going to put this down. I'm going to take our poster down too, because this week we get to spend some time on Mrs. K's favorite holiday books. I have 3 of them. So today will be the first one, tomorrow will be the next, and Wednesday will be my 3rd. But this one's really special because I know a lot of my friends know who this character is. And I think this story really, really explains that Christmas is not just about getting presents and hanging stuff up and decorating. There's a different meaning of Christmas. So I really want my friends to be listening to my story because I'm going to ask you a question at the end of it. You might have saw it already when I had it up here. Who is this guy? Is it the Grinch? It's called How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Oh no. You see, the Grinch doesn't really like Christmas. He's kind of in a bad mood. We're going to find out why and how the problem is solved in our story. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. But the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas the whole Christmas season. Now please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. He looks kind of grumpy in that photo, doesn't he? But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, not liking the Whos, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm, lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas, it's practically here. Then he growled with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming. I must find a way to stop Christmas from coming. Ooh, for tomorrow, he knew all the Who girls and boys would wake up bright and early. They'd rush for their toys, and then, oh, the noise. The one thing he didn't like, the noise. Then the Whos, young and old, would sit down to a feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast. They would feast on Who pudding and Who roast beast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. And then they'd do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Whos would start singing. They'd sing and they sing and they sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? Oh, Grinch. Uh-oh. Then he got an idea. An awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. Oh no, what is he gonna do? I know just what to do. The Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat, and he chuckled and clucked with what a great Grinchy trick. With this coat and this hat, I will look just like Saint Nick, and all I need is a reindeer. The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max, then he took some red thread and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. is he doing? Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up to old Max. Then the Grinch said, "Giddy up," and the sleigh started down towards the homes where the Who's lay a snooze in their town. Everybody's sleeping. All their windows were dark, quiet snow filled the air. All the Who's were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. And when he came to the first little house on the square, "This is stop number 1, the old Grinchy Claus hissed, and he climbed to the roof, empty bag in his fist." What is he doing on the roof? Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch, but if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once for a moment or two, then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who stockings all hung in a row. "These stockings," he grinned, "they're the first things to go." Oh boy. Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room, and he took every present. Guns, bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn, and plums. He stuffed them in bags, and then the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags one by one up the chimney. He's taking all of their presents. And then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beast. He cleaned out that icebox as quick as a flash. Why, the Grinch even took their last can of Who hash. An icebox is another word for the fridge. So he took all of the food for Christmas. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee. And now, grinned the Grinch, "I will stuff up the tree." And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove when he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove. He turned around fast and he saw a small Who. It's little Cindy Lou Who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter who got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and she said, "Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?" But you know, that old Grinch was so smart and so slick, he thought up of a lie and he thought of it up quick. "Why, my sweet little tot," the fake Santa Claus said, "there's a light on this tree that won't light on one side, so I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here." And his little fib fooled the child, and he patted her head and he got her a drink and sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went up to the chimney and stuffed the tree right up. Oh my goodness. Then the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, that old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Oh, Grinch, not nice. Then he did the same thing to the other Who houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who mouses. He went to every house and took all of the presents, everything, all the food. It was 1:15, all the Who's still in bed, all the Who's still a snooze when he packed up his sled. He packed it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags and the tinsel, the trimmings, and the trappings. Then, 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it. "Hoo-hoo to the Who's," he was grinchily humming. "They're finding out now that there's no Christmas coming. They're just waking up and I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open for a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry, boo-hoo." Not nice. Let's see if he's right if that happens. "That's a noise," grinned the Grinch, "that I simply must hear." So he paused and the Grinch put his hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, and then it started to grow. Do you think it's everybody in Whoville being upset and crying that all the presents are gone? No, it wasn't. The sound wasn't sad. Why, this sound sounded merry, which means happy. It couldn't be so, but it was merry, very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook when he saw a shocking surprise. What do you think he saw? They're not crying. They're not upset. Their presents are gone. Remember what Mrs. K said, right? Christmas is not about getting things. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He didn't stop Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. Look at everyone so happy to be together, singing together, spending time with one another. And the Grinch with his Grinchy feet ice cold in the snow stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons, it came without tags, it came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Oh, here it is, friends. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more. It does. Almost done. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart, it grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. And he brought back the toys and the food for the feast. Yay. And he himself, the Grinch, was invited to carve the roast beast. The end. I hope you liked that story. I'm sure some of you have seen the cartoon or maybe even read this before. So remember, yes, we do get to get things on Christmas from our families and Santa, but Christmas is all about spending time with one another and loving everyone that's involved in your life, right? And so that's what happened with the Grinch, right? So for today, friends, in your packet, let me get it out here. Your paper looks like this, okay? And at the bottom it says, maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas perhaps means a little more. And at the bottom it says, Merry Grinchmas, to go with our story. Now, usually Mrs. K would be painting your hand a little bit in school, but we're not in school, so we're just gonna change it a little bit, which is okay too. You are gonna ask Mommy or Daddy to trace your hand, okay? Because you need your handprint on here. So you're gonna place your hand right on the paper where it's nice and blank, and Mom or Dad or whoever can trace your hand. Once you're done with that, you're gonna color in your hand green, because I know you can't tell from my story because the picture colors are not all there, but the Grinch is very green. So we're gonna color in our hand green, and in the middle, what did Mrs. K put in the middle? A red heart, because the Grinch's heart grew 3 sizes after he learned what Christmas is really all about, okay? So that's what you're gonna do for today. I hope you enjoyed the story, and tomorrow is pajama day. Mrs. K is gonna come to school with her pajamas on because it kind of goes with the theme of my favorite holiday story. It's my top one. So we'll be excited for that for tomorrow. One more song to sing. You ready? Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all my friends. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all my friends. Give a smile and a wave. We will see you another day. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all my friends. See you tomorrow.